What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing things just a little bit differently. All right, I'm getting everybody hyped up. I'm going to get everybody hyped up. Ready for this? Hold on, let's just
get everybody hyped.
Let's just go around the wagon really quick. Hold on. My name is Brady McGrath, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud. And if you can't teach that, and this right here, that's Cameron Garrity. He is 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guy in the room. And if you can't get down with that, I got one word for you, and let me spell it out. SAWFT, soft.
Soft?
Welcome.
Soft?
To 40-Yard Dads. My name is Brady McGrath, and as always, I'm joined with Cameron Garrity. Cam, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling chubby. And while you do the ad read, I am actually, since you got a jersey on here for those watching YouTube, I'm going to go on and get the jersey on of QB1 of the New England Patriots. So
yes,
I'll
put it on.
For now, a
And
legend
as always,
QB1.
This podcast is brought to you by Sunnyside Sports and More. Get your collectibles, pictures, and autographs at Sunnyside. Today, we got a loaded episode for you. I can't tell if Cam's back. Yeah, he's back! We got a loaded episode for you today.
QB1, legend QB1, as of right now. We're going to get into that, which is Cam Newton is our QB1 right now, and we're going to say that. But we're going to get to the Patriots later because Brady, the Celtics trade deadline. We haven't done a couple episodes, so we got a loaded episode.
I agree with Bobby now. The Celtics are bad. I agree with Bobby now.
This is my thing. The Celtics are bad, but I said this to you guys after the Eastern Conference Finals. And not you particularly, but I got shit from other people saying that I was stupid for saying this. And I said Brad Stevens is on thin ice after that Eastern Conference Finals.
Thinnest of ice.
I think when you have a young, fiery team like Tatum and Brown, and I get like the Heat were playing great, the fact that we did not make it to the NBA Finals speaks a lot about the coach. And I understand the roster wasn't perfectly there and everything like that, but we had the talent that we could have at least made it to the Eastern Conference, to the NBA Finals. Even if we got our teeth kicked in, it would have been nice to like take that next step for those guys to be in the NBA Finals, getting that kind of exposure and performing at the top levels. The issue is I still think Brad Stevens is a not good coach. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think he's as great as he is. And I think the problem kind of goes hand in hand. I think it goes hand in hand with Danny Ainge because I think this roster is so predictable, the rotations. Like, teams usually change their lineups every single year, right? They change their rosters. There's always some shakeup. The Celtics genuinely have had the same lineup for the past, 3 years. And everybody outside, Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, right? Other than that, they've mostly had the same rotational young pieces coming in and playing minutes. And I think a lot of people just know how to beat the Celtics now. I think the way that this team is set up, I think Brad Stevens is trying to... this system Brad Stevens puts in actually might work in the NBA. I think he was onto something for a little bit, but I think now the league's kind of figured out, it was like, hey, no, it doesn't work that way, right? The two big man stuff, we're going to talk about the trade deadline because the Celtics did make a move for the first time since 2015, an in-season roster move, bringing somebody in since 2015.
Garbage.
So, which was Isaiah Thomas, which was a great move at the time. They brought in Evan Fournier for virtually nothing, right?
That was good.
You got Jeff Teague. You basically got rid of Jeff Teague, who they're cutting anyway, and you gave up 2 second-round picks. So if you want to eventually bring back Jeff Teague in a couple of weeks and nobody picks him up and he wants to essentially rework it, he's already a minimum guy, but if you want to get rid of some of the young guns like Tremont Waters or whoever and if whatever, right? Fine. We traded, I know Brady's thoughts on this, so I want to hear yours and I'll kind of get to it. The other trade, if you guys did miss it, was Daniel Tice and Javonte Green were traded for Mo Wagner, and Mo Wagner, but they're calling him Wagner.
Garbage.
Mo Wagner and Luke Cornett in that deal.
Garbage.
I believe we're also getting like a second, I think it's a first-round pick that's fully protected, and I think in the next 5 years, if it doesn't turn into a first-round pick, it becomes second-round pick. So basically a second-round pick. So we got a second-round pick for Tice. Now, before I get
garbage
to Brady's reason for it, I do want to say that the actual reason they made this was purely based on contracts. I don't think they wanted to move on from Daniel Tice. There's two reasons. I'm going to get to mine. I'm going to get to why I think they made this deal. I don't like it, but I'm going to get to why I think they do. But Brady, tell us your thoughts specifically on the Celtics trade deadline. As a whole. I'm going to close the shade too. The light's kind of bouncing off.
Looking at me? You're looking at me, everybody?
I am looking at you.
Garbage! The Celtics, I am so angry. Because all this, everything that was going around, everything that was circulating yesterday, how exciting the trade deadline was supposed to be, and blah, blah. The Celtics were going to get Harrison Barnes, and they were going to get Jeremy Grant. But then it comes around, they didn't even call about Harrison Barnes. They didn't call about Jeremy Grant. Fucking Aaron Gordon at the beginning of the day is saying he's looking forward and excited to being a Boston Celtic. That was an exact
And the report,
quote.
Vucevic, we were in on that deal.
But we were in on that too. Like it was an exact quote from Aaron Gordon himself, looking forward and excited to playing for the Celtics, even though it hasn't happened yet. So then
you can think Danny Ainge
right?
he keeps trying to fleece everybody. I think that's
and then we get Evan Fournier. I'm not mad about that. That one's not horrible, but
it's a discount Gordon Hayward. That's what that is.
Expiring. His contract expiring, even though he's averaging 20. He's shooting 40-something% from the field at threes. That's great. We could really use a guy that's hitting threes. But his contract's expiring, and then Danny Ainge is saying that, we want him in our plans for the future. Well, how are we going to decide that? That's not your choice, Danny. All right. And then we get rid of Daniel Tice, one of our most aggressive and heart players on the team. Loyal. He loves playing here. The past 4 years, he's been that guy. Everybody always gives him all the shit because he gets all the fouls, but he's the only hard player on the court. He actually goes after people, right? He goes after the ball. He tries to fight for it, and just all to get under the luxury cap, right? Mm-hmm. If we don't
blame Blake Grossbeck, that's who you blame.
If we don't get Andre Drummond, because if we don't get Andre Drummond in the buyout, because we're already out on Aldridge. Yep. Aldridge doesn't want to play here.
I think he's going to Miami.
Great. Fantastic. Well, we lost one of them. We're already talking to him. If we don't get Andre Drummond, then trading Daniel Tice to get under the salary cap was the most pointless thing that the Celtics could have done in the past 25 years. And I'll say it now. The most pointless thing the Celtics have done, getting rid of a starting for us especially, a caliber starting player just to go under the luxury cap.
And so
idiots, bad, terrible,
this is
trash.
My thought on it too. As my headphones.
Look at those blue mountains. Those mountains are blue.
It's cold as the Rockies.
That's how they're cold as the Rockies.
Here's my thought on it. To play devil's advocate a little bit, right? I don't like the deal. Daniel Tice was an expiring contract as well. Probably didn't want to come back here. We addressed somewhat of a need where we wanted to get some bigger players on our roster that are, we got a 7'2" guy and a 6'11" guy. Both can shoot the ball a little bit. Now, look, are they going to play any minutes? Probably not, right? They're not going to be. I mean, I could see going after Mo Wagner to try to develop him a little bit further to play some garbage, 5 to 10 minutes a game, just to be a rotation.
How about I'll say this? I will say this. Back when Mo Wagner got drafted, I said I wanted the Celtics to draft him. Spin zone.
Yeah.
Spin zone. I'll spin zone it. Fine. We have Mo Wagner now.
So this is what I'm looking at. It was a pure cap move, right, to get under the luxury tax, and I don't blame Danny for that, because that honestly comes from the ownership group saying we don't want to pay a luxury tax for this team. Now, and the thing with Evan Fournier is he is an expiring contract. The reason I like his deal was we got 2 second-round picks, right? is what we gave up. So we gave up nothing, right? The reason I like that the most is because, yes, we use the trade exception, part of it. However, he is an impending free agent. And because every single team next year is hard capped, there's no teams that can afford to take on his contract. So we can then create a trade exception by signing and trading him. So there is flexibility that if we don't want to keep him, we can sign and trade him, even if it's just for a second-round pick to get a trade exception if we do that in the future to another team. However, we do have his bird rights, which also means we can go over the cap and over the luxury tax to bring him in this team if we want to keep him here long-term, if we think he's going to be a pivotal role player on a championship team. Now, in my opinion, I think he is, but I think he's just too old. I think for where this team's peak is and their, championship run, I still think they're about a year or two away. And I think by the time he's there, he's going to be 30 years old. He's not going to be the same. So I see this more as he's here for the rest of the year. Let's see if we can spark some fire in him, see if we can make a run this playoffs, and then we'll reevaluate in the offseason. I think that's what Danny Ainge did, and I think rather than losing all the value for that trade exception, he was like, we're not going to get shit in the offseason, right? Yeah. Because the asking price for Cleveland was way too much, right? They were gonna buy him out, and the Celtics would rather not waste the trade exception on Drummond if he was gonna get bought out anyway.
Yeah.
Evan Fournier makes sense. If we get Andre Drummond, I would give this trade deadline a B.
Yeah,
I mean, you get Drummond, you get Fournier.
You get Fournier, that's fine.
And you get some size.
It makes sense. Exactly, it makes sense.
And I think this move...
But if they don't, D.
The reason I also love this move, as much as I love Daniel Tice, is we've always been talking about the Celtics need to make trades. They need to shake things up. And we're too much falling in love with our players too much. And I love Daniel Tice, and I wish he didn't go. But I think at the same time, this opens up the floor for Robert Williams. There's no excuse for him to play 28 minutes a game now. He should be playing 28 minutes a game, getting the minutes, being the guy out there. And I think that's what the Celtics are going to do. I really think that they love Robert Williams. And there's a reason he hasn't been playing that much and he's been playing limited, is because I guarantee you they want to save his body, but they almost wanted to ship off Daniel Tice and be like, it's yours now. Right, we got you some backup centers that can take some minutes, right? You have Tristan Thompson and you have Luke Cornett, and that's another thing too. Luke Cornett's probably going to get bought out, but until Tristan Thompson and guys get healthy that play behind him, he's going to stay on the roster, right? So that's what I think the Celtics are going to do. I think someone like Tremont Waters is probably going to get the boot because they're going to need to sign Andre Drummond if they do want to sign him. We're still in the front runner for him. If I'm Andre Drummond, I come to the Celtics team because, yes, you want to win a championship, but if you think you can win a championship, I think, in my opinion, I think the Celtics can get out of the East to the NBA Finals if they add Drummond with Fournier on this team and this team plays to their potential. Because I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both 26, 27 points per game scorers. They can both play some defense, right? They can both grab boards. Kemba Walker in his prime, 20 points per game scorer. Evan Fournier, 20 points per game. Marcus Smart, defensive intensity. And Andre Drummond would give you probably, 12 and 12, right? Even just asking for that. And then you have Rob Williams, who I've been very high on since last year, and a lot of people were calling me crazy, and he has taken a huge step. And I know that you've kind of turned your opinion around on it because of how much he's changed this year. But I've been high on him since we drafted him. People forget, he was supposed to be a top 5 draft pick, and he fell to us because of injury concerns. Now, I understand that's why he's not playing his minutes because of his hip and everything like that, but the Celtics have kind of... Their training staff has been very, very careful with Robert Williams to make sure that he develops. And look, maybe that's why the Celtics didn't really go through some of these moves. Is we have the guy on the roster. And I think that if that's the case, if you're telling us we're going to play Robert Williams 25 to 28 minutes a night, maybe even 30, right? And that's our Bam Adebayo, coming out of nowhere, super talented player that's going to be, defensive intensity, get the rebounds, be that center that we've been craving. Look, the guy can fucking pass really well for a center.
Yeah, he has great court vision. He sees really well. And I'll say it, I was shocked that he showed up as quick as he did. I thought, if anything, it would have taken another year, but he took the step. He's made the step.
Yep.
Now the team just needs
What is
to
he, 23?
revolve around that.
How old is he? 23, 24? He
He
might even be younger. So, like, he's still a young... Like, that's the thing with the Celtics is, like, the team is still young. I get we have high expectations, but, like...
Robert Williams. Typed in Robert Williams, and it was an old man, 78 years old. He is 23. He'll be 24 in October.
So, okay. 24. Tatum is 23. Jaylen Brown is 24. I think he's turning 25. And, you know, Marcus Smart is still pretty young. I mean, he's, 27? Like, he's not super old. You know, Kemba Walker is 30. Like, it's still a young team, right? My thing with the trade deadline, my issue with it is the fact that we were trying to win the deal. And I think that's what held up.
That's the problem. That's what Danny Ainge does so bad. He does it so poorly.
And
he tries to win every single deal.
And I think, look, I'm
by
fine
miles.
I'm fine with this trade deadline. Like I said, if Andre Drummond comes here if Andre Drummond comes here or not, right? The only way I'm fine with this trade deadline, if Robert Williams takes a leap the rest of this season and starts playing way more minutes than he is now. Yeah. That's the only way I'd be happy with this right there. So, I don't know. I mean, like, is Fournier going to give you good minutes off the bench? 100%. I think he should honestly be starting, to be honest. Put Marcus Smart back as your sixth man. Evan Fournier is in the lineup. He's probably right now your best facilitator on the team.
I think so.
He is the best facilitator. Once he learns kind of the system, he's going to probably play on the bench for a couple weeks to learn kind of the Brad Stevens, like, plays, system, and everything like that. Once that happens, he's going to be out there. He's going to be a distributor. The ball's going to be in his hands. And look, he's going to make Tatum and Brown that much better just because you can't leave him open. He's not just a shooter. He's crafty. He can score. He's a facilitator, right? So now when teams play, they're like, well, you can't leave Kemba. When Marcus Smart's out there, right, he's good defensively, and he's improved offensively. But when he's out there, you can almost leave him open. You're like, if Marcus Smart kills us from three, like, we deserve to lose, right? Because they're like, all right, we're just gonna put two guys on Tatum and Brown, whoever's out there, and make sure we shadow Kemba. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do, right? And then when they're like, but now you have Fournier to the mix, you had Robert Williams, who's like not a bad offensive player. Like, he can pass the ball pretty well. He's athletic. Like, it's gonna open up the floor. And I think as much as I love Daniel Tice, I think he didn't spread the floor as much as I wish we could have kept him, and I wish he was the backup because he'd be great in that second unit with like Marcus Smart and guys like that. But I just think it makes a little bit more sense for this. So the only way I'll be happy is if this sparks a fire in the team, this deadline, and they get some new faces in here, and because they look lazy. And if that happens, I'll be happy. And if Robert Williams takes another step the rest of this year, like he's been a top 10 efficient center in the league this entire season. He's been great defensively. He's had multiple like 3 or more block games. Like he's really good. Like people are like, oh, well, he just gets blocked. Oh, well, it's like, It doesn't matter. Anybody that gets 3 or more blocks a game, like is doing something right. These are NBA caliber players you're playing.
Yeah, I just think
and he's only 6'8". It's not like he's like 7'5" blocking people. Like he's 6'8". Like he
can jump out of the gym.
Right. Like he's legitimately blocking you. It's not like Taco where he just puts his hand up and it's a block.
Yeah.
Like it's a legitimate like get that shit out of here.
And I think it's good that they traded for Evan Fournier because if you really look at it, the most experienced player in the league on the Celtics was Jeff Teague. Nope.
Well, in this system.
Marcus. No, I know, but I'm saying in general.
In NBA?
In NBA, Jeff Teague, and then Tristan Thompson.
And we needed
two guys that we got on, outside.
They're fine to be bottom of the bench pieces, right? Or middle of the bench pieces.
Oh, yeah, and Kemba, too. I forgot about Kemba, but...
Yeah.
But again, all guys that we went out and got, you know what I mean? But then other than that, on the Celtics, it's Marcus Smart with 6 years.
Yep.
And then Jaylen Brown with 4.
Right.
Daniel Tice had 3. Jason Tatum 3. Semi 3. Grant Williams 1.
Yep.
Devonta Green 1. Neesmith rookie.
Williams.
Edwards, Waters, Fall, Langford, all 1.
I like Grant Williams, right? But like he shouldn't be playing the minutes he should be playing right now this early in his career. And the other thing, too, is what I like this is I will be okay if guys like Nesmith and Romeo Langford have a little bit more playing time now that, like, Teague and Javonte Green and guys that are here are gone, because, like, we're just forced to play them. Because with this, Danny almost forced Brad Stevens' hand to play these young guys by being like, I'm going to give you 2 slow 7'2", 6'11" guys on the edge of the bench. We're going to get rid of some of our wing players that you just love to play, like Javonte Green and Jeff Teague as a guard, and, you know, we're going to get rid of Daniel Tice, who you love to play 27 minutes a night. Like, we're going to get rid of those guys. That's almost what it felt like. It almost felt like Danny Ainge being like, this is what you have, make a change. And play, like, I'm excited. If Romeo Langford comes out and just starts balling as, like, a scorer, and Nesmith is like that shoot up,
which I thought Langford was gonna do until he broke his hand.
Yeah, but if that can happen, like that's the only way to be happy with this, is if we see development out of those 4 guys: Peyton Pritchard, Nesmith, Romeo Langford, and Robert Williams.
Very fast PP.
If we see those guys take, not even, I'm not talking a huge leap, right? Peyton Pritchard's been playing fine. Robert Williams has been playing fine. I'm talking like Nesmith, like if he just shows promise, right? If that's all that, if we see promise out of our young guys and be like, okay, Danny sees what we didn't see. He saw that our young guys are developing and they're going to be good players, either in the future for trade bait or not. Like, because if you have to admit, like their trade value, the guys we have didn't really have much trade value. If Daniel Tice only, like, as much as I love Daniel Tice, if he only got us Mo Wagner and fucking Luke Cornett, like, the value wasn't there for the guys that we thought were there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's where I'm kind of looking at. And, like, I know they said they didn't, but they probably tried to trade Tristan Thompson too, and it's the same thing. He didn't have value for his contract. And I think that's kind of the issue with the Celtics at this deadline. Is like we've talked about this leading up to the deadline. Is like they just don't have the value to trade unless you're trading Tatum, Brown, Pritchard, or Robert Williams, or even Kemba for that matter. There's not like as much value out there as you think it is. And I'm glad they didn't trade Marcus Smart, because I think that they can win a championship with Marcus Smart. I think that he needs to get back into his role, right, of being the sixth man. I don't think he should be a starter. I think he's a six-man type player, heart and soul off the bench, right? Scrappy, like Lou Williams type player. Not a scorer, right? But someone like that who's like...
Don't even say that name.
Who means a lot.
I feel so bad for that man.
He said he almost retired.
He almost retired yesterday. You know what? I'm on strike. I hate the NBA now. I actually hate the NBA more than I already did now, for what they did to Lou Williams.
That was such a garbage package, too.
That was a horrible package. They gave Lou Williams for Rajon Rondo in a first.
I mean,
first of all,
that was a steal.
Yeah, a steal.
By the fucking Hawks.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, okay. But
no, Lou Williams had the first with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rondo.
Yeah, like, I know.
Rondo got them a first.
You traded the sixth man of the planet, the sixth man of the century, the sixth man of forever, for an aging Rondo.
It makes sense.
I hate the NBA.
It makes sense though. Honestly,
I hate the NBA.
I hate it. I feel bad for him, but it makes sense for the Clippers because they needed that like facilitating point guard. Like that they were interested in Lonzo and everything. Like that.
Ooh, yeah, nobody even went after Lonzo. Makes no sense.
I know.
The NBA's stupid, sick league.
So with the Celtics, we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna see how this pans out the rest of the season. We just have to hope they're not the 7th or 8th seed. They're gonna make the playoffs. We just
are they?
Yes, they will.
Are they? Because right now at the 8th seed, the difference between 8th seed and 13th seed is 3 games.
Right, but it's the same difference between 8 and 4. So it's really
I know.
wide
That's
open.
What makes it even worse. The East sucks.
Yeah.
Basketball sucks. Let's talk about something that doesn't suck.
I was gonna segue into it, but you stole my segue.
Ah, yeah. We both can't fit on one, so someone has to ride it. NFL.
We're gonna talk about the Patriots offseason, but after the break, we're gonna go to a quick little message from our sponsors. Be right back.
What is up, everybody? It is your favorite dad, Brady, here, telling you about one of his favorite things on the planet. And no, it's not eating. It is sports betting. Our sponsor, Thrive Fantasy, is a daily fantasy sports app for player props. And what's great about their app is that they've eliminated the need to do countless hours of research because they only ask you about the top-tier athletes in the respective field you're looking for. To get started, make sure you sign up using promo code DADS and you will receive an instant match bonus of up to $50 on your first deposit of $20 or more. So let's say you deposit in that $50, you're going to get $50 back, having $100 to bet right on your own here. So make sure you download the Thrive Fantasy app on the Apple App Store or Play Store, or by visiting their website at www.thrivefantasy.com. Like I said, make sure you sign up with promo code DADS, D-A-D-S, and let's sign up and hashtag prop up today.
We know the dads love to cook, and we're excited to share our new sponsor, Backyard Spice. Backyard Spice specializes in homemade spices to enhance your grilling or cooking. But it doesn't stop there, because you can put this shit on anything. French fries, burgers, chicken, turkey, and honestly, whatever the hell you feel like. And let me tell you, their new flavor, Rub-N Racks, chef's kiss. Their spices are actually handmade, natural, and they taste amazing. Head over to backyardspicecompany.com and use promo code DADS for 15% off your order. Get cooking. I hope you liked that. Welcome back. We've got football jerseys on for a reason. We talked about the Celtics a little bit. We have to wait and see how that develops. With the Patriots, today we're recording this on the 26th. There's some news that went down that kind of leads to where it is. But before we get there, let's get through the appetizers first. All right, let's eat our salad. Let's work our way up. We're gonna talk about. We don't eat salad. We're gonna talk about the Patriots and their offseason moves leading up until this point, right? I want to ask you, Brady, because I think everybody now knows who we signed and everything like that. Like, I don't want to go through all the signings and everything like that. I want to ask you, pick your favorite defensive and your favorite offensive signing and tell me why.
Okay. So, I'm going to say... No.
It sounded like you were stumbling.
No. I got this. No! I got this.
The sun, guys. Like, you fucking go away. It's just shining in my room through my shades. I can't even
My favorite defensive signing is easily Jalen Mills. I think Jalen Mills is...
Green Goblin.
I think Jalen Mills is a phenomenal pickup. He's been very open and excited about playing for the New England Patriots, and on a team that everybody says no one wants to play for.
Yep.
And then my favorite offensive signing is easily the re-signing of our captain and starting center.
Ooh, I was thinking, which captain are you going with?
David Andrews. I love the re-signing of Andrews, and he took less on a guarantee.
Yep.
Again, another guy.
Way less.
Another guy. Stop calling me. Another guy that didn't want to play for the Patriots anymore. So
apparently,
allegedly,
he
fucked an ostrich. Allegedly.
So, my favorite defensive signing, I was going to go one or two ways here and go with somebody returning, but I'm actually going to go with Matthew Judon because it showed that we had a real need last year, right? We all talked about our run defense, but we just didn't have anybody in the front seven. And I think my favorite addition, in terms of signing, is Matt Judon. My favorite just addition overall is Dante Hightower coming back, because I think you add Judon with him, and you add either Kyle Van Noy or Bentley, whoever they're going to decide to kind of roll out as the starter. It's probably going to be Van Noy. But you add that out there, that already is a scary linebacking core. You add some of the guys that we've signed. I really like where he fits on this team. He's that Jamie Collins role from our Super Bowl runs. He's not as athletic and as he's athletic, right? He's not the same type of player Jamie Collins is. He's a little bit beefier, a little bit stronger of a player, can line up on the edge and take over a tackle. But that's why I like it. I think we got a very good versatile player there. And my favorite offensive addition has been Kendrick Bourne. I think that he is a utility Swiss Army knife. He is a cheaper version of Curtis Samuel, and I think that he really, really, really loves New England and wants to be here. And I think his quarterback is coming here with him, but we'll talk about that later. I also think Kendrick Bourne, if being utilized with Josh McDaniels and this team, could be lethal. And I think that with him and Nelson Aguilar now, and Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. He could thrive, and Jacoby Myers is still here. And like, I also want to say, everybody's saying they want to trade, N'Keal Harry and everything like that. I get it, but if we're not getting a second or third round pick for him, you might as well hold on to him, because give him a chance. He's still in a rookie deal. If he somehow flourishes, because I saw a stat that he has the same amount of receptions and yards as like Terrell Owens did in the same amount of games, right, in his career. Like the same, like through 47 games or something like that. You have to remember, he hasn't played that much. It's a hard offense to learn, and he's been injured. So if we can get him healthy, he has an entire offseason. Because, like, you have to think, too, Tom Brady shot him out. Didn't want to throw to him the first year. The second year, he's with a new quarterback that doesn't even know the system, and there's no other wideouts on the field to help, right?
And he has brick feet.
Then you go into number 3, and now he's got all these other weapons, and he can actually be the role that he was supposed to be in college, and it was supposed to be what he was drafted for, right? Be the number 2, number 3 guy, make those contested catches down the field, but not be the guy that's going to break the top off the defense. Like, that's not who he is. The Mike Williams-esque player, right? Yes. That's what we need him to be. And I think with Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne here, and a healthy Julian Edelman and James White, and the 2 tight end sets, and probably somebody we're going to draft in the first 3 rounds, are going to be and Jacoby Myers, can't forget about him.
Yep.
And can't forget about Gunner too. Like, he's coming for Edelman's spot eventually. Like, he's gonna have that spot. Like, he showed some promise last year catching the ball as well. So I really like the Kendrick Bourne signing. Just because he seems to add this energy to that offense, right? He matches Cam Newton's energy, both happy guys, like, love football. He just, the content, like the team bonding, like, dude, honestly, like, I was so happy to see all of them hanging out and like playing paintball the other day and just like all chilling. It's like that. It's not fake. Like, they don't like, it's not like they're like, oh, we're just like coming in here and like, oh, you know how everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm excited for this team. Like, they legitimately all
they showed up to Pats West and hung out.
And like they so it proves it wasn't about the money. That they proved that, yes, the money mattered, but they also proved that they were buying in to what's going on in New England. And that's what I love to see. I think Kendrick Bourne is going to be a fun player to watch, a fun Patriot to have on the team, a vocal guy in interviews. I think all of that matters. Same thing with Jalen Mills too. He's a very like fun and like super respectful player. Nelson Aguilar, like all the guys we got are like the Patriot way that we've seen. All of these guys kind of fit into that as well. They're not just good players, they also are like super respectful, very smart, intelligent football players. And like, I'm really excited for Nelson Aguilar too. He's not my number 1, but I'm really excited for him to prove everybody wrong that it was a good signing, and that he's gonna fit. Now, is he gonna give us 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns? Probably not, but he's gonna be a good receiver for us for a couple of years. And
he's gonna be able to set up really well. And one thing that I like the Patriots did was, with all their deals, they were all long-term deals. They were all 4-year deals.
There's a lot of fake money at the end.
Exactly. So a lot of the chance for Bill to, manipulate the cap and go out in the next years.
All he needed was
and get more people. As the cap goes up next year with the TV deals, which it will,
$110 million.
Yeah, so the cap's only going to go up, and they're going to have more money.
All Bill needed was Robert Kraft to buy in and say, look, Rob, I need just upfront money this year. And Rob was like, yep, how much you need? Let's go. And they gave guaranteed money on the first day, the first year of everybody's contract, and that's what they did. That's how they got the guys here. And he said, look, if the guy performs, we're probably going to be winning a lot of games, and it's going to be bringing in a lot of money. So yeah, it will be worth it later on. And if guys don't perform that we sign, they're going to be making dirt money, and we can cut them. Like, that's what people don't understand, is like, the NFL cap has always been shit. It never, ever is like the NBA or NHL, where when you sign a guy to the cap hit, it's like, that's it. Your hands are tied, and you have to like move his contract. The NFL, like, Taysom Hill got signed to a 4-year, $140 million contract.
Where all money's voidable.
And all of it's voidable.
All of it's voidable.
He could retire, like, he could just suck the rest of his career and get none of that money and get like $2 million. But he could also and if he's electric, then it works out for them, and he gets $140 million.
Even though that's Jameis Winston's team.
It is Jameis Winston's team, and I'm excited for it.
I'm very happy for Jameis. One soul tear rolled down my eye when I saw him talking on NFL Network about Drew Brees.
I was gonna cry,
and I was about to. I was really excited for Jameis Winston. I think that that's a team that really needs a guy that wants to be a leader and is a leader.
He is a leader. I mean? Yeah.
He's a leader. I think he's a leader.
People knock on him for how he was in college. But like, guys, you were in college, or if you weren't, you were freaking our age. You know what I mean?
Not
18,
everybody
19,
can be
20.
Tim Tebow, okay?
Right, exactly. And
like,
you know what? How far did that get him? You know?
Not very.
People, and it wasn't like he was out there like fucking like committing crimes like Aaron Hernandez and like blowing coke off of people. Like he literally was like just being like a dumb college kid. Like, you know? Like Jameis Winston has turned himself around, has become a respectable NFL player, and I think people should respect him.
And I'm excited for him.
The Patriots, their offseason was great. We spent a lot of money. We talked about that. Everybody knows. I don't want to beat a dead horse because we've talked about this and talked about this and talked about this. Even though we haven't done an episode ourselves, you guys have been hearing it all week from whatever shows you listen to, whatever radio you're listening to. You've known it since that we signed. The real kicker here is today. The New England Patriots kind of got put into a blender a little bit. And the reason I say that is because the San Francisco 49ers traded up from pick 12 to number 3. And I'll tell you this, the second I saw that, I go, Jimmy G's coming to New England. The second I saw that trade, I messaged you, Brady, and I was like, he's coming. Because it just makes sense. Then I started to think back a little bit. The Dolphins traded from 3 to 12, then they traded themselves from 12 to 6. So with the Patriots, so we kind of move things around. The Patriots, what I'm saying this kind of affects the Patriots is you don't trade up multiple first-round picks and your current first-round pick and a third in this draft. If you're going to draft a lineman or a linebacker or a tight end, you don't do that.
No, right? the first three picks are quarterbacks. There's without a doubt.
It's going to go Lawrence.
I'll put my life on it. Yeah, I'll probably find a way to bet on the fact that the first 3 picks are going to be
we will, and we will put money.
And I'll put all of my money. I'll put my life
because we need to bring Brady's bad bets back.
I will put my stimmy on it.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, hey, Brady's bad bets. Let me just throw this out there right now. Hold on. I'm going to toss this out there. On one of the episodes of Brady's bad bets that I did, I said that Anthony Edwards was going to be the number 1 overall pick and the rookie of the year.
Yep.
And I was talking to everybody, and everybody's like, well, it looks like LaMelo's going to be the rookie of the year. And then a week later, he breaks his wrist. Anthony Edwards for rookie of the year. If you listen to me, cash out. Cash out.
I am still upset that I never hit play on the Ja Morant rookie of the year. Once he got drafted, it was like a plus 5,000. And it was like low for some reason, like right after he got drafted. It was because who went in his draft? Was that Zion? Zion's draft. That's right. Everybody was putting money on Zion. I was like, John Morant though. Like he reminds me of like a Russell Westbrook type player, like just an explosive player.
I mean, it was just kind of luck that Zion destroyed his knee.
Right. But like even so, like John Morant like was challenging him regardless. If they were both healthy, like it was gonna come down pretty close. I don't think so. I think it was during that year, not now. It's different now. Zion's a different player now. I'm just saying, like, during that year, it was kind of close. But anyway, back to kind of the Patriots and everything like this. So, the Patriots, I think the 49ers did this for 1 or 2 reasons. And the Dolphins did this for 1 reason and 1 reason only, and that was to load up and also make sure that we couldn't get our next quarterback. That was Brian Flores being like, you know what? I'll take some draft picks. You're not going to get yourself a quarterback. It's going to be Jimmy G, but you're not getting one of these top kids. We're not letting you run the division again.
I'm still kind of skeptical on us getting Jimmy G. I don't know what it is. I feel like they're going to draft Fields, right? Think about it this way. They're going to draft Fields at 3.
Okay, that's 49ers.
49ers. They're going to draft Fields at number 3. If they just get rid of Garoppolo,
well, that's the plan.
Then who's their backup?
But listen, so this is the plan. So the reason people are thinking this is because the 49ers have said they don't want to get rid of Jimmy G. So their plan is they want to do the Patrick Mahomes, right? Keep, the Alex Smith type player for a year, swap out with the kid they just drafted at the end of the season and go from there, right? That's what they want to do. They want to do the Patrick Mahomes and this kid's a starter in year 2, not year 1. But the issue is Jimmy G has a no trade clause and he makes $25 million. If his camp determines I don't want to do this and they request a trade, the 49ers have no way that they can do that. They can't hold on to Jimmy G because if he's like, I'm not playing, and they're going to have to pay him $25 million a year for him to not play, that doesn't sound like a good choice by that team. So I think that you could see Jimmy G getting traded. Now, the other issue is if the quarterbacks go in the top 3, who's to say that the Falcons just decide, no, what if they take Lance? They're just like, screw it. Let's take Lance at 4. Sit him behind Matt. He's a project anyway. Sit him behind Matt Ryan for a couple years on a cheap rookie deal. And then when Matt Ryan leaves and they get rid of his $37 million cap hit, they have $37 million that they can use to build a team around this kid. So
and then that just opens right into Penei Sewell going to the Bengals.
Penei Sewell to the Bengals, right? So that would be
Jamar Chase to the
Dolphins.
Jamar Chase would go to the Dolphins, and then it's like, oh man, what are they going to do now?
And then at seven, you have the Lions, who are just going to take probably like Micah or someone up there, like someone.
I don't think so. I think Micah's dropping a lot.
He might, but
by necessity, strictly by
Kyle
necessity.
Pitts too. They could take Kyle Pitts and be like, we're going to have T.J. Hawkinson and Kyle Pitts.
I think the Patriots. I mean, if Kyle Pitts gets to number 7, he has to go. You know what I mean?
Right. You take I think they're going to take the best player.
And then at that point, at number 8, you go number 8, right? Mac Jones. There you go.
Yeah.
And then all of the quarterbacks are gone in the first 10 picks.
And then who's to say that the Broncos don't reach and try to take Kyle Trask because they need a quarterback and they like Kyle Trask, right?
Maybe.
And now you're sitting there at 15, and we've talked about it. Christian Barrymore is a good option, right? He's a defensive lineman, big guy up front. We could use that. We need some youth up there. We could take Pat Surtain. We could take... J.C. Horn, we could take him at that level, right? So there's a lot of options. I don't care what the Patriots do. I just want them to figure out the quarterback, man.
Micah, in New England, listen, I know you've listened to us a lot. Okay. Patriots. Patriots, every league in all sports, you always listen to us. We always come up with the best ideas, right?
They do.
If the New England Patriots are listening to this, because I know you are, please, I'm begging. If you could just draft Micah Parsons for me so I can get a Penn State New England Patriots jersey, that would mean the world to a young boy who just wants to dream. He just wants to dream.
I'd also be okay with Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith if they fell at that spot too.
They would never.
I mean, if this scenario, they would.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I think we could get one of those wideouts. I doubt those.
I mean, okay. Let's think about it this way.
If Jamar Chase falls to 6.
So all right, no, let's say that. So let's say this: if Trey Lance, if Mac Jones ends up going at number 8, okay.
The Lions
to
would
get
probably
to the
take
Patriots,
we'll probably take Kyle Pitts first.
To get to the that's what I'm saying. So Kyle Pitts and then Mac Jones at number 8.
So now we're at the Broncos.
At the Broncos,
they might trade back.
They could, but then the Cowboys, they lost Gallup. They'll draft Devontae Smith if he somehow gets there. The Giants will 100.
They still have Gallup.
No, they don't.
Yeah, he's still under contract. I thought he was an RFA.
I thought he left.
I don't remember him leaving. He's still available. I'm pretty sure he's still available.
Okay, well, actually, no. They'll probably go after Surtain because they need it.
They need a quarterback.
But then you look at the Giants. They'll probably go after a wide receiver. And then you look at the Eagles. They're gonna go after a wide receiver.
Eagles will. But what I'm saying is, if the Patriots are in this position, there's some chances that some good positional play. It's not always bad. If all the that's why I'm saying if all the quarterbacks go and you make an offer, right? You just say, look, we're gonna give you this year's 2nd round pick and a future 3rd round pick. Just give us Jimmy G today. We know you're drafting this kid, right? Go sign Alex Smith to a 1-year deal. Let him be that bridge guy, right? He's done it before. Go let him be that bridge guy. We're gonna take Jimmy G off your hands, and then we keep our 15, and at 15, we just take whatever best player slips to us because all these other teams are taking quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. You could see, I think Jalen Waddle would probably be more realistic to fall to us at that than any of the other ones, but I don't think they will. I don't think the Eagles are going to make the same mistake twice. I think they're going to go and actually draft the guy there and not go after Jalen Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson. They're gonna make that pick. So.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. The thing with the Patriots right now is who is the quarterback, right? I know it's Cam Newton, and I joke about he's QB1 right now. I like the guy a lot, And I'm okay if he is the starter and Stidham's there. Like, we can see if Stidham develops. I know he's not good, but we can see if he develops anymore, if he does or doesn't, right? He might regress. But I at least want to know what the I feel like we still don't know what the quarterback room is. Like, Bill Belichick filled every single need in free agency. Every single one in free agency. He filled every need. Even the depth pieces except quarterback. Which tells me we are either trading.
Cam's just the guy.
It tells me one of three things. Cam is the guy. Cam or Stidham are the guy, and we've been wrong this whole time. He's trading up, which that looks less likely after today, or Jimmy G or another quarterback is being traded for and coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to believe it's us trading for another guy because the league and the 49ers just told us, no, we're trading up. We're going to get the guy, right? Because they're getting a quarterback. You don't trade up into the top. First of all, you don't trade up in the top 3, but you also don't trade up multiple future first-round picks if you just want to draft a tight end or a lineman. You don't do that, right? As much as Penei Sewell is a great guy, like Slater's not bad, right? Guys like that in that draft are not bad that you could probably have slide to you at your position. So it doesn't make sense you don't mortgage the future for somebody that's not going to be your franchise quarterback. So they must have fallen in love with, and I've seen even reports that they've fallen in love with Mac Jones, and that's who they're trading up to get. And if that's the case, fine, right? If he fits their system, fine. Then I'm not as worried. Then maybe we can trade up to number 4 and still take Fields, right? But I think the Patriots, this thing that's going to scare me is they're going to have to wait until draft night. We're going to have to see, like, Bill Belichick's going to have to call everybody's bluff and make them put their money where their mouth is and draft the guys that they actually want. Because the Jets could all of a sudden just be like, you thought we wanted Wilson? Yeah, we're going to get Penei Sewell number 2 overall. We just wanted to see if anybody would trade up for us and make an offer we couldn't refuse.
I will say,
could.
I was watching the pro days.
Oh my God, that ball he threw.
I did watch Zach Wilson's pro day. He did have a good pro day. That ball that he threw across his chest, even though it's like in a game situation, it's like, yeah, it could happen,
but it's never going to.
You
have that type of talent on your roster in Sam Darnold, and you have yet to give him an actual chance, and you have all this money. Like, go out there and sign Antonio Brown, right? I don't even care, right? Because he's out there. Go sign the man. Go get the best freaking tackle in the draft that everybody's talking about, a generational tackle, right? Go get him and build your team around Sam Darnold and see what you can do with the guy you just drafted in the top 5 of the draft a couple years ago. Like, don't give up on that guy already, right? Like, he's got talent. Everybody in the league knows he has talent. Like, people are interested in trading for him. So, like, why not give it a fair chance? So
Patriots go get Sam Darnold.
But this is an option. This is where I think. Do the 49ers like Wilson or do they like Fields? Because if they love Fields and Wilson slides to a spot at 4, that's a dream scenario, I think, for the Patriots because I like him. I think the only reason I'm okay with him being there is because the Patriots have a need. I personally don't think he is the second best player in the draft. I really don't. I think outside of Trevor Lawrence, I think probably the second best player in the draft really is probably Kyle Pitts. And then Sewell's probably number 3. So you got to draft for need most times, but I mean, if I'm the Jets, man, like, it's the second overall pick, but like, do you really need a franchise quarterback? Because like, is Wilson going to come and turn your franchise around like a Mahomes after a year? Like, is he just going to be that good? Like, I don't know that. I don't watch him enough to know that. I don't know if any quarterback outside of Trevor Lawrence in this draft is going to be good enough to turn a franchise around like that, right? So why not just take the best player available that you know, like, all right, Penei Sewell, like, regardless, is going to make our offensive line great for whoever's here.
Yeah.
And you do that. You put some faith in Sam Darnold, the guy you drafted, because that's the thing. If I'm big old bald head Rob there, right, in New York,
Bobby Sala,
do you think? Does he think Sam Darnold's good? Right? That's my question. And I think
that's literally what it all comes down to.
I think the dominoes will fall pick number 2 on NFL draft night. Whatever the Jets do will determine who the Patriots quarterback's going to be, how the rest of the draft's going to go, who the 49ers are going to have as their quarterback, who the Falcons will have, who the Eagles will have. Like, it will affect all of that, because the Eagles, they came out with a report today that said they loved Wilson, that they were trying to actually trade up to number 3. But if they're saying that, that must mean that they have some type of inkling that the Jets aren't 100% going to be getting Wilson. Because you have to remember, these are just mock drafts. The Jets haven't come out and said, we love Wilson, that's like who we're going to go with. These are all just analysts saying, oh, he could probably go there. Like,
yeah.
You know, even the Jaguars haven't 100% been like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is a guy. We all know it is.
We all know it is. But like,
it's not confirmed.
Yeah, but Urban Meyer is like holding his cards. He's trying to hold his cards tight.
Right.
He's like, oh, we like all these guys. And blah, blah,
because
blah.
if somebody makes a once-in-a-lifetime offer, right, like 5 first-round picks, all the picks in this draft, like, you're not going to turn that down even if it is.
Exactly. If somebody Ricky Williams, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if the Patriots really want Trevor Lawrence, they're going to have to give up every single pick in this draft and the next year's first round. Like, that's how it's
future first too. Not even just that.
It's gonna be the Ricky Williams.
Yep.
And you know what? Screw it. They can do it.
And I would.
And they can. And you know what? Yeah, they should. Why not? Look at everything they have right now. Look at the people that they've signed for the long term.
Sneaky.
Look at everything they have.
And guess where he was this weekend? This week.
Hey,
he was Pat's West. He was there.
You know what? I will say this too.
Oh, I wish.
When the Patriots wanted to go after Baker Mayfield, they had like the 20 something.
28.
Yeah, they had like
stupid
28th pick. And you know what? And they were gonna move up all the way to number 2.
Yep.
So what is stopping them?
You know what's stopping them?
Ricky Williamsing this right now. At draft day, we're gonna see. We have
a trade
Adam
going out.
Schefter is reporting that.
You know what's stopping them?
He's gonna come out to the booze and he's gonna be like, "Oh, we have a trade to announce," and then the booze is gonna get a little quieter. Okay? And then they get like, "Oh, what's the trade?" And they'll be like, Jacksonville Jaguars have traded the first overall pick to New England. Boo! He gets louder. No! It gets even louder.
It's happening!
So angry. Yeah. And then they read it and they're like, they just gave them all these picks. No!
Yeah.
And then Bill finds a way to be like, all right, well, I still have a pick in this draft. Like,
somehow.
We have 15 picks and now I have 12.
Hold on.
Like,
because Trent Brown didn't cross the T in his name, it means we now have a 5th round pick in this draft instead of next year. It's like some crazy rule he found out. No, dude, but this is the thing with the Patriots. The reason they're not doing that right now is because of leverage. Bill Belichick doesn't want to show his hand. He's not telling reporters what his plan is. Because other teams, we know that the 49ers love Sam Darnold and would get him if he's available. We know that the 49ers are trading up. Bill Belichick's not telling a soul outside the organization the plan for quarterback except the players that signed here.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody's been keeping a tight lip on it, right? Because even if it was Fields, don't you think we would know by now?
Exactly.
The Patriots are in love with Justin Fields, and they are trading up to go draft him.
And then another thing, too, is Hunter Henry said that he was going to go to a team that had a bona fide quarterback. And then everybody's like, so why do you want to come here? Because Cam Newton. It's like, well, that's a good point.
Right.
Why did he want to come here because of Cam Newton?
Because the Patriots...
Is there something else that the Patriots are going to do?
The Patriots probably said, here's option A, which is Trevor Lawrence. Here's option B, Justin Fields. Here's option C, which is Jimmy G. Right? And that's what they said. And they said option 4, worst case scenario, is Cam Newton. And they said, we're going to give you your money, but we could have any of these quarterbacks. We have the ability to go get them. It just determines on the willingness of the teams and how things line up. Right? Could the Patriots still trade for Trevor Lawrence? I just have this sneaking suspicion that there still is a possibility. Because Bill Belichick has done things that he's never done before in free agency, right? Going after all these guys, guaranteed money, first day, paying all this money for skill positions. Would you be surprised if he traded the future to go get the next guy? If he believes Trevor Lawrence... And why? This is the weirdest thing, right? He's not friends with any of those guys in Pat's West. He didn't play at college with any of them, I'm pretty sure, right?
But he just get invited? And
he just got invited by Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham and the Patriots wide receiver and tight end groups to play catch. I get he's from the area, but like I don't think Trevor Lawrence is like, hey, let me join you guys. If Trevor Lawrence was there, he'd be like, hey, Jacksonville Jaguar wide receivers, you guys want to play some catch? Right?
Yeah.
Or hey, other wide receivers in my draft class, do you want to play some catch leading up to the
go
draft?
work out? No.
Not the actual, like the Patriots of all teams. I guarantee you, if that happened, Bill Belichick was like, who fucking spilled? Who told this kid? Do not post those things online.
I will
please.
say this,
like,
you know what? And here's another thing too.
We're gonna speak it into existence.
Let's just go around the wagon a little bit too.
Oh yeah, let's get on the wagon.
Bill Belichick and Urban Meyer are pretty good friends.
They are.
They are really good friends.
Bill Belichick recommended the job.
Yeah, he did. He recommended them the job there, and there are a lot of pictures around of them laughing together and having a good time. Bill Belichick personally consulted Urban Meyer before he was going to draft Aaron Hernandez.
Yep.
I'm just going to say, if it's going to happen with anybody, it's going to happen with them.
And he says, look, I'm going to give you Ricky Williams. I'm going to give you N'Keal Harry.
I'm going to Ricky Williams a shit for you. You're going to get...
He can even say, take N'Keal Harry, take Stidham, take Gilmore. Yep. Like, take these players too. Take them all.
Yep. Take them all. Because guess what?
But like, seriously, in your situation, if you're the Jaguars, you get Trevor Lawrence, do you want to do the same thing that the Bengals did, right? Where you have like a crapbag team around that kid? Or would you rather build up your team and get a lesser quarterback and have a better franchise in the future? Because Trevor Lawrence is going to end up leaving town. He's going to hate Jacksonville.
Yeah,
it's not a good place, and if they can't build around him, like, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's going to leave after a few years.
There's really not much they're going to be able to do.
But, like, you bring him to New England, great coach. He's got weapons, especially, and we have some weapons that are ready to play. You know what's the best thing about those weapons? Everybody's like, oh, we got guys that are going to grow with the system. We also got guys that can compete right now, too.
Yeah.
So why would you get, if you're just going to draft a rookie, why would you get guys that compete right now, right, for no reason? Like, I get Bill Belichick wants to win and everything like that, but, like, at the end of the day, I wouldn't rule it out. And everybody might be thinking, oh, you're crazy. Look, just hear it out. We didn't expect them to get two tight ends.
What's so crazy about it? Hunter Henry was shocked. Hunter Henry was shocked that the Patriots even called him.
Yeah.
He saw Jonnu Smith and he's like,
oh,
okay, well, I guess I'm out. And then they called him. They're like, hey, buddy, we're going to give you some more money. He's like, whoa, okay.
Wait, hold on a sec.
I like this. I like the sound of that. I'll be a part of the best tight end duo in the league. Why have they
been... Think of it this way. Why have the Jaguars been so quiet with all that money they have in free agency?
Yeah.
If they were expecting Trevor Lawrence... They would have went out there and spent a lot of money to give that kid a good team because they had a lot of money.
Like, I'm looking at it right now. The people that they went out, like, they signed Jamal Agnew. No. He's a good special teams guy.
Yeah. Like,
they signed Dorsett. They signed Dorsett to a short-term deal.
Philly Dorsett as a fourth receiver.
Yeah, and then they signed Marvin Jones, which is like, okay, that's not that bad. But they signed him to a 1 year, $7 million.
Yeah.
So who is to say that?
But, like, why didn't you go after, like, Kenny? Like, I know you have DJ Chark and, like, you have guys like that, but, like, why didn't you go after, like,
why
Kenny
don't you
Golladay?
go after the Kenny Golladay? Maybe go after the AB. Why don't you go after
why didn't you go after Joe Tooney?
Big name people that are going to be able to protect Trevor Lawrence, that are going to be able to keep Trevor Lawrence there, that want him to stay. And I think it's going to happen.
Why is Cam Newton here on basically a 1 year, $5 million contract?
Screw it. And you know what? And even if we don't, if Cam Newton, I say this to everybody, if we pay Cam Newton $14 million, it's the best $14 million we've ever spent.
Yeah, because for him to get that, you have to win the Super Bowl and he has to be Super Bowl MVP. So at that point, oh, well, he's not the guy. Well, he just won you a Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter. Like,
exactly.
He just, like, that's why I always hate the talk of, like, well, it's all this money. It's like, yeah, he has to earn it. And if he earns it, it's fantastic. And if he doesn't, then it's whatever. He didn't earn the damn thing. So there's no reason to sit there and cry about the deal. Right?
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing is like, and everybody always says this about Jimmy G. He can't stay on the field. Right? I get that. But when he's on the field, he was 13-3 and brought his team to a Super Bowl. And I honestly think there's more talent on this team than his 49ers team during that time. I think so. Right? So I don't know, man. I mean, if you can get, and even if you get Jimmy G, right? Like, even if it's not Trevor Lawrence, even if it's not Justin Fields, if it's Jimmy G, right? If it's fucking Alex Smith, right? Whoever's the plan. Because we all know that Bill Belichick is not sitting here and being like, yeah, this is it. Cam and Stidham, we're gonna re-sign Hoyer as the third guy, or Jake Dogala is gonna be our third string, and we're gonna kick back and this is it.
Yeah, no.
There's no way that he invested this much money into the team and that little. And if he felt Cam Newton was the guy, he would have given him like a 2 or 3 year deal, would have given him some like guaranteed money, and would have been like, you're the starter, you're the guy. He wouldn't have given him an incentive-laden contract if he was not going to be the guy, and if we didn't have a plan. And now that the 49ers have moved up, maybe, just maybe, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the guy we were targeting. But maybe after today, the 49ers, Bill's like, the only way we're going is if we go all out for one of those top 3. And the 49ers aren't giving it to us because they just traded up. The Jets aren't going to trade in the division, but the Jaguars and my old friend might trade up with me.
Yeah, it's very possible,
and
especially with all the capital they have.
And it might take what the Dolphins did. It might take us moving up to number 4 with like a 15 and a second round pick, and then trading the 4th and everything else.
Yeah.
and 2 future firsts for it.
Yeah,
It's probably going to have to happen that way. I hope when it happens, I'm going to put it this way. I think the Patriots, if they're going to trade up, like really trade up for a guy like Trevor, it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. They're not going to wait till draft day to do the trade. If they're going to trade up for a quarterback in the top 5, it's going to happen on draft day, I think. I don't know, man. Like, it's exciting. I want to know who the quarterback is. And for like, my gut is telling me, as much as I love Cam Newton, I think he would be a great quarterback here with a better offense. My gut and my football instincts are telling me he is not the quarterback.
No.
And it's telling me he is not Stidham. There is something coming down the line, right? Like, there has to be. Like, there's a hole, right? It's not a bad hole. It's not a huge leak, but it's a little leak, right? And I think Bill Belichick is not really fond of keeping holes on his roster for too long. And it's been a hole on this roster for 2 years now. So I think... I don't know, man. I think Trevor Lawrence is a possibility. And for those listening that think it's crazy, it's like, why? We have the capital to do it. It's not, it will never happen. It's like, why? Because you, like, tell me why it will never happen. Have the Jaguars come out and said, Trevor Lawrence is the guy. We are not trading this pick. He is the only, you remember in years past how many teams are like, no, we plan on using the pick. Like, it's going to be this guy. You know how many times teams say that before the draft? They're like, hey, they tell Schefter, they're like, let everybody know that we are not trading this pick and we are drafting this player. And, like, we know that. Everybody just assumes it's Trevor Lawrence. Have they went out and said, we are not trading this pick and we are going all in on Trevor Lawrence? No. Have their free agency signings indicated that? No. Have the Patriots said we are not trading up for Trevor Lawrence and not interested? No. They've scouted him heavily. They've scouted all quarterbacks in the top 5.
They've scouted all top 5 quarterbacks.
They invited him to Pat's West.
Exactly.
There had to have been an invitation, right? Because that'd be pretty weird if he just showed up.
Yeah, there's no way that he's just going to show up. There's no way he's going to know they're in Atlanta. Everybody's in Atlanta working out together. Cali,
Cali, wherever they are. But
Atlanta was the other one they were going to do.
Yeah, but if you see him hanging out again with Patriots receivers, like if it's like, oh, Trevor Lawrence getting in some early work with Jacoby Myers and fucking Kendrick Bourne.
But why? Why?
But why them? Why them?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Who are some Clemson wideouts? I'm gonna look this up.
Trevor Lawrence is he lives in Tennessee.
Right. That's another point I didn't even remember.
He's from Tennessee. Like, what is he doing?
He's not even a California.
What is he doing in Cali working out with all the Patriots?
Brady, where's Clemson, by the way? You want to tell me where that is? Not in California.
Yeah.
Patriots wide receivers. I'm going to look at this. Let's see. Are any of these guys right now? This is the thing. If any of these guys played at Clemson, can you look that up for me? Where did N'Keal Harry went to ASU?
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers, definitely not.
No.
Kendrick Bourne went to LSU, right? No, Eastern Washington. Who went to LSU? Somebody went to LSU. Isaiah Zuber. Let's see this guy.
Michigan.
Mississippi. He was playing with those 3. Let's see. What are the other wideouts? Edelman definitely didn't go there. Nelson Aguilar went... Where did Nelson Aguilar went to? USC.
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne went to Eastern Washington. None of them are from there.
This is the thing. We're going to... Bemidji State. Connor. Christian Wilkerson was there in presence. Went to Southeast Missouri. So definitely not Clemson. Let's take a look at the tight ends. Did Hunter Henry go to Clemson? Oh,
No.
I don't think he did. He went to Arkansas.
Jonnu Smith, no.
Jonnu Smith, no. Where did Matt
Like-
Lacoste go? Matt Lacoste.
Went to
Illinois.
High school. Illinois, yeah.
Devin Asiasi was there. Went to
No.
UCLA, right?
Yeah. Like,
Did
that's
not
what I'm saying,
go
brother.
there. And
That's what
those
I'm saying,
guys were
brother.
present. Where did Jared Stidham go to? Auburn. Did Jared Stidham transfer schools at all?
No.
Ever?
Nope.
I just want to make sure.
Cam Newton went to Florida and Auburn.
And whatever that other random ass school was.
Yeah, and
Like a D3 school. Jared Stidham.
went to a community college. My man's was playing at Roxbury Community College, and then went to Auburn.
I want to look at this. Jared Stidham was at Baylor and then Auburn.
Yeah, so it's like there's literally zero ties
To Clemson.
to Clemson. So like,
Wait, hold on. A real question though. Did we ever ask this? Is Trevor Lawrence a 4-year player at Clemson or 3 years or whatever it is?
He was a 3-year.
This will answer. This will answer like officially.
He's
Trevor
foregone.
Lawrence college. Yeah, he went to Clemson the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah, he's still,
So it's not like he played with Stidham at Baylor for a year and they were like
No.
buddies or like and then transferred. So why is he working out with the New England Patriots
It's a
in
good
California when he's not from California? He's from Tennessee. He didn't go to school with any of those guys, not a single one of those guys, and is hanging out with them. Not a single one. Not a single one of those guys have ties to Clemson.
It's a very good point. You know what I mean?
Right? Like, did he just say like, "Oh, this looks pretty fun. Like, I'm gonna go ask these guys." Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, where he's from Tennessee, right?
He's from Tennessee. He went to high school in Georgia.
Right. So he went to high school with Georgia. So go to Atlanta. Go to Atlanta. The only situation could be Cam Newton's from Georgia, right? I'm pretty sure. The only thing I could be is like if Cam Newton, just being a Georgia guy, was like, "Hey, Trevor Lawrence, you're also from Georgia. Why don't you come hang out? We know you're going to be the number 1 overall pick. Let's come hang out, throw some balls, talk to you."
Yeah.
But why would Cam Newton and Jared Stidham invite some kid that's not going to be on their roster? That's the only question, right, about this little myth busting we're doing right here, is because I think Cam Newton is too much of a competitor to invite the guy that we're going to trade up for. Unless Trevor Lawrence reached out and said, "Can I come throw with you guys?" Because he knows the Patriots are going to trade up for him. But the guys
Same, brother. It's very much.
because you got to think Hunter Henry's catching this ball and be like, "Okay, this is why I signed.
That's what I'm saying.
This kid's better than Justin Herbert, who I thought was nasty."
I'm saying, dude.
Right? He's probably because you think Hunter Henry runs that route and he's like, "Oh my god." He catches the ball and he's like, "I thought Herbert was like the next
We
one."
sound crazy right now, but it's such a possibility.
Right, guys.
Like, we can't go around this. We can't be walking around saying, like, "Oh, wow, this isn't going to happen because the New England Patriots can't move up for all these picks." And but they can. They will.
And they will. If they want to be aggressive, if Bill Belichick is trying to win in the next 4 years and he thinks because Bill Belichick sees this, if he thinks the best quarterback that is coming out of the draft in the next 2 or 3 years is Trevor Lawrence, without a doubt, leaps and bounds above, he's going to go trade up for that guy.
Yeah.
Right? Why would he sit back and let some team like the Jaguars get him?
Yeah.
Especially his buddy. Maybe he got his buddy the job because his buddy would trade him the pick.
Maybe. We don't know that.
We don't know, but it's certainly a possibility, so do not take that off the table, Patriots fans, because there is anything and everything that can happen. My gut is telling me that Cam Newton and Stidham aren't going to be the only quarterbacks on the roster, whether we draft someone or not. Could we draft someone in the 3rd round? Fine. I don't care what
Kellen
it is.
Mond.
I don't care
Kellen
who or what it is, but I know that we are going to get another quarterback.
Kellen Mond.
And I am okay with it.
Big arm.
I'm okay with it. If that's who we're going to get, if it's going to be Trask or Kellen Mond or Trevor Lawrence or Mac Jones, I don't really care. And honestly, the only quarterback I really don't want in the beginning of the draft, like the only 2 quarterbacks I really don't want is Ian Book and Trey Lance.
I agree.
Like, other than that, like I can wrap my head around it because I think Trey Lance has barely played any football and he played at basically D3, D2, no competition, barely played any football, right? Like, that's a worry for me. Trevor Lawrence played at the highest level in the game and dominated. So, I don't know. That sounds like, let's go trade for this guy. You know, let's trade with Atlanta. Hey, Atlanta, you really seem to have interest in N'Keal Harry for some reason. Why don't we give you N'Keal Harry, a 15th overall pick, and a future second-round pick or something stupid, and we're going to move up to number 4. So you still pick at 15, right? And you get a young player out of it. Oh, yeah. And while we're at it, hey, Urban. Yeah, you know how we had a third round pick or whatever for you. Yeah, sorry, we have the 4th overall pick now, and we're gonna give you every pick in this draft. We're gonna give you our first round pick next year and a first round pick 2 years from that. So 2024 draft, and you're gonna go ahead and take those draft picks, and you're gonna take it, and we're gonna take Trevor Lawrence. You're gonna build your team up, and if you want, we'll give you Jarrett Stidham too if you wanna have him in Jacksonville and have him be there. But you have Gardner Minshew if you want to build around him as a bridge guy for a couple of years and build your team up the other way through the draft, because I'm sure Urban Meyer wants to build his team more than just the quarterback. I think he's like, holy crap, this team's ass. We need to draft way more than just a quarterback. So that's a possibility. So Patriots fans, if you're out there and you think we're crazy, I think you're the crazy one for not taking all opportunities on the board.
Exactly.
Why are
crazy.
you listening to Felger and Maz who are telling you it's only Jimmy G and that's it? That's the only thing realistic.
The worst.
Did we come into the offseason and say, yep, we're going to get Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, all these guys? No, we were probably like, we're going to get either Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, maybe sign like a TY or a wideout.
We should be happy to go get a wideout. We didn't even get a wideout. we didn't even do it.
Right. And we got defensive player, we got Matthew Judon, we got Jalen Mills, we got a lot of players on this team. Why would Andrews come back for cheap? Why would James White come back, right? Bill Belichick, I get their market was out there, but they could have waited. They could have waited another week and said, I'll go sign for $2 million with the Dolphins, right? David Andrews could have went there. Maybe there's something brewing, because I don't think these players willingly chose to come back to a rebuilding Patriots thing. So whatever the quarterback move is not a rebuilding move. And I think, and that's why I think drafting someone like Fields or someone like that is a rebuilding move. I think trading up for someone like Trevor Lawrence or trading for Jimmy G or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, any of those moves, right? Whatever's on the table, I think those are winning moves, and I think anything else in the first round are rebuilding moves. And I think these players do not sign here for a rebuilding team. They sign for a retooling team. And that's what we are. We are retooling, and there is a plan at quarterback, and I'm excited, and I don't care who it is, even if it's Cam Newton. But I think that the New England Patriots have a plan. I do not think they are done yet, and I think that this team moving forward is going to be excited. And if you weren't here with us last year as Patriots fans, just don't bother watching us this year, because you're fake.
Exactly.
Because we said it last year on the podcast, in week 6, we were like, we have all this cap space. We're going to be going off with all these draft picks. We were talking about the future, and we wanted us to get a quarterback too. We wanted to tank for Trevor Lawrence, and maybe Bill was like, I could still get Trevor Lawrence without tanking.
I can still get him. Yeah, exactly. And now if he does, you're a bunch of videos.
If he does, he is playing 7D chess. Not 3D, not 4D, 7D.
But Cam, I think we're getting around that time.
I think we are.
I got a good one today.
Oh, you do?
This one could be a little football related if you really want it to be.
Wait, hold on. Before you say it, make sure if you are listening to us, you follow, subscribe wherever you are listening or watching. We are on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere that you need to find us. We are on there. Also, check out our website, 40yarddads.com. We're going to be having some more articles come out on there actually keep you guys up with some of the things there. And on that website, we have a new storefront, a new shop. You can get some new merchandise in there. We're going to have some great stuff, actually better quality products on there for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Please go check that out. Help us out. And follow our social media. We're just going to be honest with you, we've been slacking on our social media and everything like that, but we need to get back in the wagon. I just think we were kind of, all over the place. I got COVID, Brady had to get his shot. We were just the last couple of months have just
vaccinated
been not
bitches.
Great. So so before Brady gets to his dad joke, make sure you do those things. If you've listened this far into the show, we really appreciate it. You are one of the OGs, so we want to thank you if you listen this far, because most people probably don't even know we do dad jokes by the end of the podcast. I don't think everybody listens to it completely. So Thank you guys. Again, we're on YouTube. Look for us. We're going to have some video content is out too. We're going to be pumping out content for you to enjoy. Sports content, because sports are fully under wrap and football's coming back. You know we're a football first kind of guy. So, Brady, let's leave us with the dad joke.
How much does a pirate pay for corn? A buccaneer.
That's funny. That's
Zinger.
a good one. We'll see ya.
Miller.